Hello, Senator Warner. This is Andy Schmuckler. You may remember me, or maybe you don't, but there was a time in 2012 when I was the speaker before you at a big banquet before on Labor Day in 2012 in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Uh, and you indicated that you were very taken with my speech, which laid out how the Republican Party, this is in 2012, it was already showing that it was no longer the party that we'd grown up knowing, that it was a party that was being possessed by a sick and broken spirit, and it was constituting a real threat to America. Now, you're about to undertake a mission to convey to the President of the United States that he needs to do something that he seems to be dug in about not doing. And I'm here to compose a little message to you as economically as I can about how I think you might succeed at that mission. Because I believe you and I would agree with President Biden, who has said that the survival of American democracy and the rule of law are at stake in this election. The implications of that are that the Democrats' sole consideration must be, how do you what ticket can we field that would have the biggest probability of winning, because there's just too much that would be lost if we lost. We cannot take any more risk than we possibly can, the best possible thing to do. And you have reached the conclusion, obviously, and I think rightly, that President Biden is not the nominee, that the Democrats maximize their chances of victory. He might win or he might lose, but there's good reason to believe that we could get a higher probability of victory. And with the stakes of American democracy there, that's what we got to do. And Biden knows that at one level, but the interview with George Stephanopoulos tells us a little bit about why he's dug in, I think. And so your task when you go to talk with him is to see if you can get him undug. And here's the idea, that we can see that there's some kind of ego involved here that's got him dug in. Because if nothing is relevant, as it clearly must be seen to be, but how do we best win in November? It's irrelevant how he has a record in this first term of great achievement. He went through a litany of the things he's done, and he's entitled to that litany, but it is irrelevant to the question, is this guy the best way to make sure that American democracy survives? No? Well, that first term doesn't have anything to do with, do we put him on the ticket? Even if he would be good in the second term, because he really has still the ability, he has to win. And if he's dug in about ego, and that's what I think is implied by this litany of, look what I did defeating Trump and saving Ukraine and putting NATO back together and all that we can, it might be possible to take that ego energy, which has got him dug in, and use it to get him undug. Because you can make the following pitch to him. In addition to how the good of the country calls for him to set aside whatever it is he wants for himself, like a second term. In addition to that, he'd be taking an enormous gamble if he cares at all about his legacy or put his place in history. I care about my place. I bet he cares about his place. I think he would be happy to be told that if he steps down, he has guaranteed himself an honored place in history. Not only all his service before, but beating Trump and all the things that he accomplished, particularly in the domestic scene in the first couple of years. A real record of accomplishment. And history will look upon him and say that he served one term as president and he did a great job. But not only that, but on top of that, he can make a gesture in the way that he steps down that would be a very powerful statement about putting nation ahead of selfish interests and drawing a contrast with Donald Trump, who needs to be defeated. He could say a lot of things. and he could help set up a process to get to our best outcome through things before the convention and at the convention. I've got some ideas about that, but just to say, he can cement himself for sure an honored place in the eyes of history. But if he stays on the ticket, in spite of the fact that there are a lot of people who really, really, really want him to win, who will be completely behind him if he refuses to get off the ticket. His friends and allies, there are a lot of people saying to him, this is too dangerous for us to do at this point. You've got to step down for the good of the nation when we've got this fascistic force that's threatening to win a presidential election. So that's the pitch. He has ego. Anybody who wants to be president as much as he did, running in 88 to 2008, not in 2016, maybe unfortunately, and ever since, this guy really wants to be president. But he needs to make a renunciation here, and history will think, golly, at an age when all the people in the Republican Party go to do these disgraceful things in service to this guy who wants to be a dictator from day one. This guy, the guy who said that the Supreme Court was giving the president dangerous powers that he didn't want because he believes in the American way. He can show that again and secure himself a place as a hero, particularly if the Democrats are able to choose a winner. He will have saved American democracy by stepping down. I think that might sell him on the idea. Anyway, that's my idea. I hope you can make some use of it. And I wish you all the luck in the world getting the team of senators together to go over there to tell him to step down, sort of reminiscent of Barry Goldwater and some other Republican senators getting Nixon to resign. So best of luck to you. I'm very proud to be a Virginian that my senator has taken on that job. Thank you very much.